All right. Hey, YouTube fam. It has been a long time. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years since you've seen this face. And now this face looks a little different. Okay. We're natural right now, right? No makeup. But I've missed you guys. And I really wanted to take this time to reintroduce myself. Okay.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Okay. A lot has changed since the last time I saw you. I no longer live in LA. I moved back home to the Maryland, DC, Virginia area. So DC, the DMV, which, by the way, comment below if you know the true meaning of where the DMV is, okay? Because there's been a lot of discourse lately that I've seen on the interwebs, on the social media, where people are saying that I'm not in Baltimore, okay? Baltimore is not in the DMV for those who know. So I moved back home, started a family. I have a 3-year-old toddler, worked in corporate, and we can really get into it. I have, my toddler is 3. She just turned 3. She's amazing. I have a little Leo. I love me some Leo people, but Leo women in particular, love them. So really grateful for that. She is a firecracker. Becoming a mother for the first time as someone who also does not have, like, my mother has transitioned. She's no longer on earth, on this earthly plane. It has been such an interesting time to get to know myself again. An unfolding, if you will, of becoming someone completely different than who I was. I like to go out. I used to love going out. Meeting folks at a bar or, on the dance floor, going to different events. And while I still enjoy doing that, there's a difference now. I live in the suburbs of Maryland, outside of DC, and driving to DC is like a whole, I have to get ready. I have to prepare mentally, physically. Like, am I ready to find parking? Which, thankfully the parking tends to always tip in my favor. So I usually don't have problems finding parking, so that's great. Parking gods are in my favor, but, it's a whole, like, much ado. So the going into DC really has to be worth my while. I actually like Virginia a lot more. Now, here's the thing. I also don't know DC like I used to know DC. Marvin's, that was a spot I used to love going to, and that place has since closed down. I had a lot of other watering holes and just, social spaces that I love to frequent. And those places are either closed or I no longer know the people who work there. So I really am in a place where not only am I discovering myself or rediscovering myself the same way that you're rediscovering me right now, but I'm also rediscovering my hometown, where I'm from and where I live. And, it's exciting. But it's also, I've had to take some time to almost grieve that former life. And talking about becoming a mother, my body, I am a completely different body type now than I was before. So even that, is something that's exciting, right? I get to go shopping. Okay. I get to, really build up a new wardrobe, which is really, who doesn't want to go shopping and build up a new wardrobe? But it's also like, dang, I miss wearing that thing right there. And it fits a little differently or doesn't fit at all. And so, there's just so many things that have changed. And it's okay, because not only am I reintroducing myself to you, I'm really reintroducing myself to myself. So this video is a bit cathartic. I also was in the corporate space for, the past few years. One thing I've noticed about myself when I go into corporate spaces, I tend to post less. I tend to minimize my online presence because I'm so mindful of my perception. And for those of you who may or may not be able to relate, as a Black woman in corporate spaces, how you present yourself, I'm someone who is outspoken. direct while still being kind, very observant. I notice patterns. So I'm going to speak and kind of zoom out and speak to the 360 experience, rather than just like, this is the problem. I like to get to the root of things in and out of the workspace, even, in doing my own inner work. I want to get to the root of the why, I'm experiencing this feeling. Okay, but where is it really coming from? Sometimes that's important, but really in work, it's important to notice, okay, this is the symptom, but where is it? Like, where can we stop that bottleneck? When it comes to corporate spaces, I've realized that I have edited myself online to be mindful of how I can be perceived as my coworkers or peers in my workspace are now following me online, and just, how that boundary is blurred so that I can be my authentic self, but still not be like, okay, did you see Danielle? Like, you know what I mean? I'm too mindful of what other people think, right? Like, too aware of what other people are thinking. And it causes me to mute myself. I decided to unmute because it was, I missed talking to you guys. I missed interacting with you guys. I love building community of like-minded people. And in order to do that, I have to be me. What's that song? I just gotta be me. But seriously, I have to be authentically me in order to feel fulfilled in life. And while I'm in a chapter where I'm discovering that and rediscovering and reintroducing that to myself, muting and stifling parts of myself can also be something that is not necessarily helping to move that train along. I'm still in the corporate space, but I just decided it's time to unmute. And then the biggest thing that has changed, I am a flexitarian. And I'll make a separate video about that. But as soon as, how I realized that we were pregnant, or that I was pregnant, I started craving steak, egg, and cheese bagels from this spot in Union Market in DC. And I knew something's up. And for some of you guys might be like, yeah, you just needed iron. You didn't need to eat steak. I wanted steak. Okay. And I wanted cheese, and I wanted eggs. I wanted all of it. And so, it was something to make me realize, like, yeah. And again, there's so many other factors that led to me deciding being alkaline vegan in particular might not be my thing all the time. So I call myself a flexitarian. Like, I'm plant-based. I eat there might be a week where I do eat alkaline. There might be another week where I'm a pescatarian. There might be another week. Listen, I don't subscribe to these labels. Because here's the thing, right? Like, you'll subscribe to a label and you'll tell someone that you're vegan or that you're alkaline, and they'll be like, well, why are you eating this? Why are you eating that? And it's like, why are you watching my plate? Let me eat. Like, go on. Like, let me eat. Don't be policing what goes into my belly, okay? But yeah, so I'll make another video about that because it's a whole thing. It was a whole journey, really. And I think it's totally right that it gets its own topic. But when it comes to introducing myself, I really, my goal here is to create a community of like-minded people. I'm someone who, I was an only child for like 13 years of my life. I didn't really grow up with my brothers. I was, the firstborn grandchild on one side. Like, I'm just someone who has always moved around and, not necessarily held up. And listen, charge it to my head and not my heart. I'm still learning how to maintain and nurture relationships. I have my couple of homegirls sprinkled throughout the country, okay? But, what I love is just being able to connect, share ideas with people, like-minded people, but even people who might disagree. Discourse is okay because sometimes you can learn something from the person, or I can even learn something about myself and say, wow, I never thought about it like that, but you know what? I still don't agree. After really getting to the root of it, right? So, you know, there's a lot that I have to learn in my many years of life. And I'm hoping that this is a place where I can share what I've learned so far, learn some new things with you, and then also hear from you what you've learned, and we can all just kind of come together and have a little fun. Listen, I'm someone who's been in beauty. I've been in skincare. I was an esthetician for, a while. I was a makeup artist. I was a private chef for some well-known people in LA. I'm someone who's worked as a bartender. I've worked as a waitress. I've worked as a manager, as a director. I've worked in many different roles. And I know that is something that also lent to me having this vast experience when it comes to being able to share, like, oh, I always get from people, what did you do to your hair? What did you put in your hair? Ooh, I want to know, show me. So, of course I'll have a hair video. I'm going to be trying some new foods, cooking some foods that are vegan and not vegan, right? Like my brown butter chocolate chip cookie recipe, get your whole life, because it's something that's highly requested, from my loved ones, as well as my mac and cheese recipe. So there's a lot that I'm excited to show you all, but then also just having a good time, someone who's in her 40s and just rediscovering life. Thanks again for tuning in. Comment below, what are some ways that you are, rediscovering, or things that aspects of yourself that you're reintroducing to yourself, or to others. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm looking forward to coming together on this journey and just having a damn good time, y'all. All right. That was it. Nah, but for real, I hope you guys have a blessed one. And just remember that you are your secret sauce. You are the magic. And that every story that you have is something that the world needs to hear, even if it's just the world around you. So I can't wait to hear parts of your story so that we can come together and have a good time, as I already said. I'm a little dorky. I'm a little klutzy. It's okay. Come and be yourself. No judgment here. All right? And if you do judge, I might block you. So, all right.